Hi guys, my name is Anna and I am the owner and creator here at All Things All Happy. And today we're going to be working on a bubblegum keychain kit. I'm not sure if you guys ever saw these bubblegum beads, but they are so adorable. I love them and I want to make everything I can with them. So today I thought I'd start with making a keychain. If you were one of the lucky ones that were able to grab my Merry and Bright box, inside I did put together a bubblegum keychain kit. So grab those. If not, no worries. Grab your bubblegum beads and come join me. All right guys, so now we're in my epoxy room. And what I did was I took the 3-inch disc and I put a piece of tape in the back and I flattened it out so that when I lay it flat, it stays level. And I also left the film on that one side, just in case epoxy falls over, it doesn't get on the other side of the disc. And the side that I'm going to be putting the epoxy on with the glitter, I took the film off. So you want to take that film off, okay? So what I did was I mixed some epoxy. You're definitely not going to need a lot. I just mixed some for something else that I'm working on. So I'm going to take about 7.5. I don't even think I'm going to need that much. But I'm going to do 7.5. Okay? And I'm going to take my Merry and Bright glitter. And I am going to first shake it up. And then I'm just going to add it to my resin and just stir it up. Nice and simple. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it onto my desk. And you also want to lightly sand the acrylic disc so that it adheres better. And then I'm just gonna take the glitter, move it around, make sure it gets everywhere. You want to work in small batches. Don't do too much at one time. It's easier to add than to take it away. Okay. I need a little bit more eye level, so I'm just gonna lift it here. And I use this little rubber spatula because I just happened upon it and I find that it works so much better. And this is a quick coat epoxy that I'm using, so you definitely want to move quick. And it's chunky glitter, so you want to make sure at the end to go around the sides to make sure any of that chunk is staying within the circle and not sticking out too much. For me, I find it easier if I'm doing this eye level. All right, and I just want to get it all the way to the edges. All right. Then I'm just going to take a popsicle stick and just go around, make sure any chunky glitter that may be sticking out stays back in. And then I'm just going to torch it a little bit. Pop the little bubbles that I see. And that's it. We're just going to let this sit. And then we'll come back and check it. All right, so this is finished drying. And now what we're going to do is we're going to peel off the back. And as you can see, this is why we kept that film on, because sometimes epoxy gets through. And this way it doesn't get on the back of it, so that we can discard. All right, let me put it on top of a cloth, and I just wrote up a quick Merry and Bright. Just wrote it up, made an image, and then I offset it. And then this one too. Perfect. So now we're just gonna put this on. Perfect. And then we're just gonna center it on the disc. So the acrylic disc is 3 inches in diameter. So I made this entire image, including the offset, no more than 2.5. So that way it takes up the bulk of the space and it doesn't go over the edge. And so this is done, and we're just gonna make sure everything is nice and flat. All right, once everything is nice and flattened, I like to use CCDIY's Quick Coat, and I like to use a paintbrush and make sure that my vinyl stays down and doesn't lift. And so I use this to make sure that when I put the epoxy over it, it does not bubble underneath any of the vinyl and lift, because it will not look good at all. You want to put this on both directions, right to left, and then up and down. All right. And then we're just going to let that dry. It won't take long at all. And you just want to make sure you clean your brush really quick, because it will destroy it. All right, guys, I poured about 10 mils in here. I actually over poured, so you only need about 5. I actually recorded it, and for some reason it didn't record. So what I did was I poured it on here, and with the spatula, I just made sure I moved it around to all the edges without pouring too much, because you don't want it to tip over or go underneath, because underneath the back side is already completed. So we just want to make sure that it's just nice and level. You don't need to put a lot, it's just a little bit. A little bit more there, and that's it. And we're just gonna let it do its thing. It's gonna take about 4 hours to cure, and then we're just gonna hit it with some heat real quick to pop any of the bubbles that are coming to the surface. All right, now that the resin has dried, what we're gonna do is we're going to make a keychain out of it. So we're gonna take some elastic string, and we're gonna cut about 12 inches here. It's more than you need, but it's enough where you're able to work with the string without it being too short on you. All right. And then we also have our lobster clasp. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to take this little ring piece off. I don't want this little bottom ring. I don't need it. So I'm just gonna twist that off. There we go. Okay. And then I'm gonna do 3 beads. So I'm just gonna choose the 3 that I want. So I'm going to do a green, a red, and a cream. So now, if you guys purchased the Merry & Bright box, inside you got the Merry & Bright keychain kit, and it comes with all this here. It even comes with the string so that you can easily do it yourself. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is we're going to take the 2 sides of the strings, attach them together, just hold them together. And you just want to fish it through the hole. And then you want to open the loop on this side, and then just put the 2 strings through it. Okay, so that way it's nice and tight. Not tight, but attached. So you just want to pull on the string a few times. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start fishing our beads through. And you want to put both strings together and then just push them both through. Oops, where'd it go? There it is. All right. The holes are large enough that you can get the 2 strings in, and it's smooth so it doesn't get stuck or anything. So it's good. Okay. So now that we have our strings through, and what we're going to do is we're going to fish it through the bottom portion of that lobster clasp. Just want to put both strings through. All right, now that we have the 4 pieces through the elastic, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna leave the clasp there. Don't worry about that yet. And with the last bead, so my last bead was the red one, just gonna fish those 2 pieces of elastic right through again. All right. Now that you fished the 2 pieces through that top bead, you just wanna pull it really nice and tight. And then we're gonna wrap it around the top bead. And then we're gonna pull the string through, just like a regular knot, making sure it's nice and tight. And then you're gonna pull, okay? And then we're gonna do 1 more of those knots. So we're just gonna wrap it around, nice and tight, go around that top bead, pull those 2 strings through. Okay, and then we are going to cut the excess off. And then we're just gonna pull that red bead so that tie hides in within it, okay? And that's it. You're all set. It has give, but when it just hangs, you don't see any of the elastic. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. And if you like this and want to see more, please like and subscribe. This year I put bubblegum keychain. Not do it together. You had to put one. All things all happy. What the all things all happy. What do I do with my bubblegum bead?